You at the front of the room. All eyes are on you, and the room goes hush, goes silent. Do your words fall flat, or do they inspire? After your talk, a line forms at the booth to ask questions and to sign up for your offer. And a few weeks later, you reflect back and you notice, oh, I made $10,000 or $20,000 from that event. That's what I want for you, and that's what's possible for you. So I'm Julia Beecham, and I'm so thankful that you're here with me on this Zoom recording webinar from the Meetup group. We're here to talk about 3 public speaking secrets that I feel every entrepreneur must know in order to make more money. And we're here in my living room. It's a very informal talk. I've got my favorite cat mug here with my favorite tea. I hope that you're cozying up and enjoying the talk. And I'm just wondering, since we have people from all over, there's a bunch of people here, people from San Diego and different areas of the country. It's so great to see everybody here. Thank you for joining. Thanks for taking some time to learn about these things, because I really believe that they're going to help you get better results when you go out there and with your business. So let's dive right in. I want to start by addressing something that I hear a lot, and that's that coaches and entrepreneurs don't think of themselves as speakers. And yet, I see that they are. You are a speaker, even if you don't regularly get up on a stage. You know, when you're at a networking event and you're having a one-on-one conversation with someone about your business, you are a speaker in that moment. Or when you get up to do your 30-second what do you do statement at an event, or when you make a sales call, or when you talk to somebody at the grocery store about what you do, etc., you are a speaker. My teacher, Jonathan Bender, talks about this as the performance of your life. Basically, that we're all performing all the time. And how we perform or how we show up is really the key to unlocking our success and our results. So that's what we're going to talk about today. You know, I've been working with conscious entrepreneurs and startup founders and professionals, corporate professionals, and teachers, et cetera, who are building their business through speaking for a few years now. And what they all say is that they're not getting the results that they want from the business systems that they've learned. Like they've done a lot of learning usually, but they're not quite getting the results that they want. And they really want, of course, a thriving business. They want their message out there in the world in a powerful way. They want to magnetize clients and money to them through their powerful presence. And that's all possible for you. It's amazing that small little tweaks is what can make the big difference. So they often tell me, though, that they feel like they're playing small. And they are aware of constriction in their body, constriction in their voice that is uncomfortable. When they get up to speak, when they work on their business, talk about their business. So a lot of them come to me saying, you know, they don't feel like speakers, and then we start to shift that as well. I've been really passionate about performance my whole life, passionate about speaking and being in front of rooms, but I've been specifically training in performance, voice, and speaking for 15 years now. Then I became a yoga teacher for about 10 years, and now I'm a certified whole speak coach, as well as a magnetic speaking trainer and a big impact speaker. And I love what I do. It keeps getting better and better. I see how this works in my own life, that I magnetize people to me. I magnetize money and clients. And it happens very easily just from my presence. But, you know, it wasn't always this way. And that's why I'm here talking to you. I don't want you to have to spend 15 years learning all this stuff. I used to clam up and shrink down so much. But I first noticed this when I was in theater school studying acting. I'd be in all these classes and learning all these things, and still teachers would say to me, Julia, you're stopping yourself. Like, no matter how much I teach you, it's like it doesn't get through. You're stopping yourself. It was so frustrating, so frustrating. I didn't know what I was doing. I just felt like I would get very uncomfortable. I'd get sweaty. I felt like everything went up and I was like out of my body, and all kinds of racing thoughts and judgments and criticism of the people I was working with. It was so uncomfortable. When I started teaching yoga, the same kind of thing. I really wanted to get it right, so I got very rigid and really tried really hard. And, you know, after a while of teaching yoga and applying the things that I learned in acting school to that new situation, I softened up and got more relaxed. And now when I teach yoga, people usually comment on how great my voice is and how great my presentation was and how much they enjoyed being in my presence. Yet, when I was growing my business, you know, a few years ago when I just started to do talks about what I do and what I'm passionate about, speaking as myself, right? Same thing came up. I was so terrified. I would sweat. I would go absolutely blank, forget anything to say. I mean, I'm just speaking as myself, and I'm speaking about what I'm passionate about, and I couldn't find any words. It was so frustrating. So at every point, I've had to up-level my skills and lean on my training from all the performance work that I've done, and keep learning more and more and more. And that's what I want to offer you. I don't want you to have to go 15 years of all that training and struggle. I want you to get results much more quickly. So today we're going to talk about the challenge of not making enough money, and it's a big deal, right? And then we'll talk about why that might be happening for you, why I see it's often happening for people, and what you can do about it, of course. See, those 3 secrets is what we're here to learn. And then I'll make an offer of how you can get more involved in this work, because I know that what I'll offer you today is great, but it's not enough to fully get you all the results that you want. So I'll make an offer, and if that feels right, you're welcome to take advantage of it, or just take this and run with it. I'd love to hear how you guys take it and run with it. So what is this about not making enough money? I hear it from so many entrepreneurs. It's a big deal. It is the deal, right? And we'll spend tons of money as entrepreneurs to make more money. We'll invest in the website and the brand and all the business coaches and learning business systems and online strategy, et cetera, et cetera. We will spend lots of money to make more money. But so many times, entrepreneurs still say they're not making enough money. It's painful, right? My story is very similar. I've been on food stamps. I'm not proud of it, but I've been on food stamps. I was on Medi-Cal insurance for a while, way back, and I've been in the grocery store with like an organic apple in one hand and a conventional apple in the other, deciding which one I should buy because this one costs 50 cents less. It sucks to have to make those kind of decisions. It's really painful. And sometimes it's a reality, right? But it's a reality that we want to know won't exist forever. And it's a reality that sort of sits on our shoulders as entrepreneurs. So what I find with a lot of the clients that I work with, and I so relate to this, is that they're so passionate about what they do, right? Sound like you, so passionate about what you do. So skilled in what they do. Tons of training in what they do, all these modalities, all this knowledge, but they give it away. Or simply forget to even make an offer. Just give it away. They might not even ask for the sale, right? Or they might not do the activities that could make them money. Often because, we'll get into that, but often because they don't really want to be seen or heard. Yeah. And so I find that they're really focused on the process of the transformation that they provide and not really on what's happening in a sales process or in how they're communicating their message. They just want to jump right to the process that they love to do, which is great, right? But but that means money isn't that important. And I've heard this from many entrepreneurs. Money's not that important. I don't really care about making money. Well, you might not care about making money until you need to pay your rent, until you need to pay your mortgage or open your bills, or, God forbid you should want to go on a vacation. You should feel burnt out and need a vacation, right? So it's so important that we as entrepreneurs have money, if you didn't already know, because when you have money, you can take care of you in a better way. You can get that massage you need. You can have that vacation you want, feel really good and full, and you can serve your clients more. And what I find is that entrepreneurs have so much heart so that they serve their clients in this big way. Their clients feel filled up, and then they go out and they fill up other people, and it's just a beautiful giving kind of tree, all from this feeling of fullness. It comes from making enough money, having enough clients, having that flow, having that attraction, right? So why is this happening? Why do so many entrepreneurs end up not making enough money? There are a lot of reasons why you might not be making enough money, and I don't want to simplify it. I'm certainly not a financial coach or a business coach. There are many reasons why you could not be making enough money. Sometimes it's a structural issue. Sometimes you really need to learn business systems and set them up for you. Sometimes you need to learn more about financial education. Let me take a sip here of my tea. Sometimes you're not in alignment with your right topic or your right niche in some subtle way. Sometimes you're not taking enough action or taking enough risk sometimes. That's all could be true. But more than anything, most of the time what I see is that entrepreneurs aren't showing up in a way that magnetizes clients and money to them, showing up to the events that they go to, showing up to the calls, showing up to their client sessions, showing up to their speaking gigs or to the conversations with promoters in a way that inspires that kind of flow. And that's because they aren't aware of the way that they're unconsciously sabotaging that connection, that kind of trust. In the classic sales model, if they talk about know, like, trust factor, that people have to know who you are. They have to know you exist, number one. That's sort of easy to make happen, can be. They have to like you, and they have to trust you. So the liking and the trusting can be the harder ones, especially the trusting, right? So people sometimes, entrepreneurs often don't know how they're unconsciously sabotaging the like trust factors. And that comes from, I find, them not being aware of how their nonverbal communication communicates to people. So communication in general, anything that we say, is 50 to 80% nonverbal. That means anything other than the words that you say. That's a lot, right? 50 to 80%. So that's things like your body language, gestures, eye contact, the tone of your voice, what you wear, etc., etc. The nonverbal communication. And that often is saying things like, well, I don't really want to be heard. I don't really want to be seen. And that you'd rather play small and shrink back and sort of go watch some Netflix. Really, like, deep down. Be honest about it, right? Even if it's very subtle for you, like I've worked with people that have been speaking for a long time, right? And they have tons of confidence. They think of themselves as really good speakers, and they've been told that they're good speakers. And yet subtle shifts in how they communicate, how they show up, changes everything. It's like there was a plateau, and then they rise above it. And this is really what happened for my past client, Rachel. She has this amazing company called Crunch Culture. She makes non-dairy vegan yogurt parfaits. It's so cool, with these amazing gourmet flavors and organic ingredients. I mean, they're amazing. And she was doing all right in her business, but she came to me and she didn't know how she was going to pay rent that month, much less, pay for the coaching. Now she figured all that out, and And as we got working together, I realized that she really needed to develop her confidence, really needed to find her story and find herself as the leader of her business, as the person like that shined in her business. And she was selling her business. So she had to show up to those investor meetings differently. And when she shifted some subtle things around that, for her was especially around confidence, like I said, and how she stood or held herself. It was amazing. A bunch of accounts came to her, but one really big account made a big difference, which was an account with Phil's Coffee. Heard of them? So now her yogurt parfait is in all 24 locations of Phil's Coffee in the San Francisco Bay Area. She's been able to hire an assistant. Bam, right? Amazing. And no longer worried about how she's going to pay rent, because she's worried about getting new clients and how she's going to handle that. Handle all the work. I mean, it's just been a huge shift for her in how she shows up. And I want to tell you another story about how this really works in the world, like not just in the entrepreneurial world, but in the world in general. This is an amazing story of a study that was done in the 70s. Maybe you've heard about this. It's called the Dr. Fox effect. I love that name, the Dr. Fox effect. Google it later. So how the Dr. Fox effect works is that they brought in this group of doctors to watch two presentations. There were two doctors that were going to give a presentation on the same topic. One was named Dr. Smith and one was named Dr. Fox. Now, what the audience didn't know is that Dr. Smith was an actual doctor that had been studying this topic for a long time, like his whole life. And Dr. Fox was an actor that they hired to talk about the topic, but really didn't know anything about it. So they both gave their presentations, and then the audience of doctors was given a survey to fill out with questions like, who did you like more? Who did you trust more? Who did you learn more from? Who would you be most likely to spend more time with or work with, or if you have this particular issue to like get services from? And what do you think was the response? 84% chose Dr. Fox over Dr. Smith. 84% felt that he was more likable, more trustworthy. They learned more from him, and they were more likely to want to work with him in the future. That's a huge difference, right? Huge. And this guy, Dr. Fox, didn't know anything about the medical industry. He was just more compelling and engaging on stage. He used all these inflections, and he really got personal with people and connected and had a great time. Whereas this Dr. Smith was really leaning on statistics and studies and the facts. So how do you show up? How do your nonverbal communication, how do you communicate with your nonverbal communication? Are you aware of it? Do you know how to harness it? So that leads us into our three public speaking secrets that I feel every entrepreneur must know in order to make more money. And it really comes from this awareness. Aware of your nonverbal communication, how you're communicating, and mastering it, harnessing the art and the science of public speaking. So the first secret is people buy your confidence. Which I've already sort of alluded to. They buy your confidence and your belief. What is confidence? I would say confidence is your level of belief in yourself and belief in what you offer. And it's so important to be confident because it's that like trust factor. When you're confident, other people can feel it and you feel it. Your nonverbal communication subtly changes when you're in that confident energy. My teacher says, this great quote that he says is that all success is state dependent. So your success is based on your state. And confidence is a state that you can choose to be in or not, that you can cultivate or not. And so often I find that people are sort of in confidence and sort of not. But confidence when it's 100% there, when it's, more or less 100, like maybe 95% there, right? And then it's congruent that you feel confident on the inside and you feel confident, you are perceived as confident on the outside. Woo, it's really powerful to win people over. You might think that people, when they're buying your services, that they're buying that nice program that you laid out, or they're buying the result that you talked to them about, or that they're buying based on the logo that you have and the professionalness of your website or something. What I actually find they're buying is your confidence and your belief. And if that wasn't there, none of those other things would matter at all. So let's do some things together around confidence and building your confidence. And the first thing is so simple. You can do it now and you can do it over and over again to improve your level of inward confidence and how you're perceived outwardly as well. So this is about posture, how you hold your body. It makes such a huge difference. And maybe you've seen that TED talk about power poses or the Superwoman talk. It's real. How you hold your body makes a huge difference in how you're perceived and how you feel on the inside. So do this with me. Bring your feet right underneath of your knees. Shift your hips to the edge of your chair and sit up really tall, really tall. Roll your shoulders back, lift your chest up. Take some breaths, some deeper breaths than maybe you have already today. How do you feel? And then we'll go ahead and drop and go to the opposite. You can tuck your feet underneath of you, slouch your spine, drop your head, and notice how you feel. You can hear it in my voice too. A lot of people end up in crackle voice when they're in this sort of position, in this state. It's just low. My presentation would be so different if I came to it from that state, right? So simply adjusting your posture. I mean, you can do more things like hands on hips, power posture, or something like arms up, power posture. There's so many power postures, but simply adjusting your posture so that it's more awake, more alert, more upright. Huge difference right away, and be really aware of how you hold your posture. Another aspect of this posture work is bringing certainty to your mindset. And we can experience this somatically or through the body. Take your hand right out in front of you like you're going to cut through a tower of bricks, like really strong, like karate chop, karate chop. And now say that with the word certainty, or do that with the word certainty. So it's like this: certainty, certainty. And how you say the word certainty is certain, right? It's really crisp and clear, strong. Certainty. This feeling of nothing is getting in your way. You are 100% on it. You 100% believe. You are certain. It's sort of intense, but if you do that in the mirror, or just do that at all, it will change your state. Notice how you feel right now. Certainty. So I invite you to play with these things. So moving on to our second secret, and these are all building on top of each other. So second secret, public speaking secret that I find people need to know to make more money is to realize you are the face of your business as an entrepreneur. You're the face of your business as an entrepreneur. And not only are you the face of your business, you're the face, you're also the body of your business and the voice of your business. As in, your business moves through you. And you might say, well, duh, Julia, of course it moves through me. I'm the entrepreneur. Like, I started all this. Well, okay. And do you know how to use your body, your voice, your face in a way that's like a musical instrument? a concert violinist, if they play their instrument, they practice regularly, and they notice there's a little crack in the body of their violin, what do you think they do? Do they keep playing with the sound just a little off? No, they stop and they get that fixed, or they get a new violin, right? They pay attention to their instrument, and they master their instrument, how they play it, and the structure of it. So as an entrepreneur, you, as in you, like this being, is the instrument of your message. And I feel it's time as entrepreneurs we invested in ourselves as an instrument. Our mouth as the instrument of our message. Our bodies as the vehicle for our message, that it comes through you. And if it's not flowing all the way through you, then it is not being fully received. It's not being fully expressed. And it's so important that it is fully expressed, because this is your life's work, right? This is your heart's work. And of course, it also comes down to your bank account. If people aren't fully receiving your message, they can't possibly trust like you, then trust you fully and fully lean in to the fullest extent that's possible. So you might get some sales, right? You might get some, but to fully, you need all of your expression. And you need to be all 100% on board, which is that confidence piece, that certainty. So some tools around bringing more awareness to you being the face of your business, you being the instrument of your message. We'll start actually with the face. This beautiful face that you have. Your face is probably the #1 way that you communicate. Through a video or in person, people are looking at your face. So is your face fully communicating, or is it a little stuck? When we're with friends and we're totally relaxed and we're having a great time, maybe you had a few drinks, your face is very expressive. I've seen it over and over again. We have crazy facial expressions. We do all kinds of fun things. But then when we get up on stage, or when there's things at stake, especially money at stake, we can totally freeze and not move our face at all. Not even move our mouth very much. And just like, please get me through this. Please, please, please. Yeah? Maybe you're not even aware of it, but I just see it all the time. So we're going to work out your face. I call this facial aerobics. Or if you're into yoga, it can be facial asanas. So, okay, let's go through this. So facial aerobics. Lift your eyebrows up and down. Up and down. Good job. Up and down. And now the bridge of your nose, up and down. Up and down. So silly, right? We're taking the seriousness out of this altogether, taking the seriousness out of making money. No big deal. Cheeks up and down. Up and down. Lips out, like you're kissing. And then back like you have no teeth. Smile and frown. Purse, smile, and frown. And we forgot that one, so go like you have no teeth. Good, and now make a funny expression. A different, opposite funny facial expression. And one more crazy facial expression. Hopefully you're not taking yourself very seriously and you're just having a good time, and you start to wake up expression in your face. It makes such a difference to being able to connect and engage people. So, and that leads us into talking about authenticity. So if you're increasing your facial expressions, are you really being authentic? Like, would I really do this? People usually say, like, I wouldn't do that. That's not how I usually do things. I'm like, well, okay, that's probably true. But that doesn't mean that what you've been doing is authentic, or is you, or is effective, right? So when we try something new, it always feels uncomfortable at first. And then once we practice it for a while, it becomes the new normal. It becomes the new habit and the new authenticity. To sort of debunk this word authenticity, Authenticity is really about just being present and really just letting yourself be expressed and releasing the holds, the constrictions around your expression. And then you have a fuller, bigger aspect of yourself. And of course, we're performing all the time. We're performing ourselves, which is an interesting idea to think about. We're performing ourselves. So really the question is, what works? What works? And the last, this is leading us really well into the last public speaking secret I want to offer you today, is to be aware that coaching businesses are built on relationships, which means that they're built on connection. When you're building your business, it's always a one-on-one connection. Even if you're talking to a group of 100, 200, 300 people, or this virtual kind of video thing, it's always about one-on-one relationships. So you have to become more effective in creating connection quickly, creating and maintaining rapport, and engaging and inspiring your audience. And it's not the easiest thing to do. Some people tend towards that more than others. It doesn't mean that you have to be extroverted, though. That's what often people say to me. Do I have to be an extrovert to be a good speaker? And the answer is no, you don't. You just have to be able to connect in a way that's authentic. Ooh, I used that word. Connect in a way that's present, that's in the moment. So people can feel you and you can feel them. And when there's that sense of connection happening, there's a natural rapport and people will lean in. The trust factor will be much bigger. It's so powerful. So some simple tools for connection that I want to offer you is, first of all, a mindset shift around connection. Making connection more important than anything else. What if connection was more important than making sales, right? What if connection was more important than wearing the right thing or getting the exact content right like you had planned it? What if connection was more important? And then that shows up through things like powerful eye contact, making eye contact more important, and allowing yourself to really see the person in front of you. That means being really curious about who this person is. Like, what have they been through in their life? What struggles have they had? What desires do they have? Who is this person? And that immediately takes you out of your head. Yeah, it can be so powerful just to make them more important. The other aspect of connection is connecting with yourself. So you have a relationship with yourself too, and there's lots of ways that I'm sure that you connect with yourself. But specifically for your speaking and for showing up as the instrument or the face of your business, it's really important to have a warm-up routine that you do regularly and in preparation for any important meetings or talks that you do, that you know how to warm up so that you start strong. So there isn't that like warm-up time in your talk or in the event that you start warmed up. I mean, when I was doing theater stuff, preparing for auditions or scenes or whatever it was, I would warm up for at least an hour. Voice warm-ups, body warm-ups, mental warm-ups, energetic warm-ups, ways to get myself fully present and awake and aware, ready to hit the ground running. It's really important to know how to warm up. How do you warm up? Most people warm up by reading over their script, reading over their notes. Does that really warm you up? And I would say absolutely not. Your instrument is not getting warmed up that way. Maybe some of your thoughts are getting warmed up, but you're not really getting warmed up. So to make connection more important, you have to make the connection with yourself more important, as well as in the moment present with other people, that connection more important through your eye contact, that strong, curious eye contact. And if you'd like to practice more connection, I'm doing a workshop actually on connection next week down in San Francisco with an organization called Women Catalysts. So I'll send out more information about that in the email after this. But otherwise, let's wrap up. So we went over these 3 public speaking secrets today that that I feel that I've seen over and over again is what every entrepreneur needs to know to make more money. And those were people buy your confidence and your belief. So coming into those power postures and that feeling of confidence inside and being perceived as confident from the outside. We talked about you being the face and the instrument of your business, of your message, and how to take better care of yourself as the instrument. Working on your face and full expression. And we worked on the understanding that the coaching business is about relationships, that one-on-one connection. And that it's important to value connection more than anything else. Use eye contact and use your warm-up routine to connect with yourself. So for those of you that are growing your business through speaking and are hungry for support around your speaking, perhaps you're feeling small, like you're playing small, you're shrinking, you're feeling constricted in your voice and your body, and you're not getting the results that you want when you speak and in your business in general. For those of you that are feeling that way and are resonating with me, I want to offer you something that I feel will really help you go to the next level and get the results that you want. Because these tips are great and they might be enough for you, but they also might not be. You might need further support because we all have habits that have been with us for so long. And it takes support to be able to see to understand how you're perceived, to understand how those nonverbal communications are really affecting you. So I want to offer you a Speak to Inspire breakthrough session with me over the phone. This is a 1-hour session where we dive into where you are now, what challenges you're having, and where you really want to go, that big vision. And once we see that, once we understand the gap between those things, then you know what to do. And I'm happy to tell you more about what I do, or I can point you in the right direction. It's really my gift to you. For those of you that resonate with that, I'll send out a link to my online calendar in email after this, or you can go to my website, juliabeau.com, juliabeau.com. There's a link to schedule on my website. It was such a pleasure to share this with you. Thank you for joining me in my home. And the world really needs your voice. It's time to stand up and shine. So I look forward to connecting with you more in the meetup group. Send your questions and thoughts.